One of these three men has written a dictionary. Every word in it is spelled wrong. What is your name, please?
My name is Joseph Kraviski.
My name is Joseph Kraviski. My name is Joseph Kraviski.
Only one of these men is the real Joseph Kraviski. The other two are imposters. And we'll try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Peggy Cass, Orson Bean, and Kitty Carlisle. On To Tell the Truth. And here sitting in for Bud Collier is our host, Robert Q. Lurie.
Hi. Thank you very much. Thank you, Johnny. Hi there. Hi. Welcome once again to Tell the Truth panel. Bud is taking an extra week off, so lucky me, I am delighted to be back with you nice folks again. How are you?
Fine.
Good. Let's see what happens tonight. As a matter of fact, we are brought to you tonight by the makers of Woolite, the cold water wash that safely soaks sweaters clean in just 3 minutes without stretching or shrinking. And here we go, panel. Would you open your envelopes? Follow along, please, as I read. I, Joseph Kraviski, am the compiler of a most unusual dictionary. It contains no definitions and is designed for otherwise bright people who just can't spell. Ordinary dictionaries are useful, but often you can't find a word if you don't know how to spell it. Well, in my book, I give the correct spelling of several thousand tricky words, but they are listed under their wrong spellings. For instance, nuisance, orange, scissors, doubt, and last but not least, ptomaine poisoning. I also include a section on confusing sound-alikes. For example, the sound burrow has 3 spellings and 3 different meanings. I call my book The Backwards Dictionary. Its official title is A Handbook for Terrible Spellers. Signed, Joseph Kraviski. All right, panel, 3 gentlemen. They all claim to be Joseph Kraviski, compiler of a handbook for terrible spellers. And we'll start our questioning with a girl I happen to know is one of the world's worst spellers, Peggy Cass.
It's not true. I always won all the spelling bees at my school. I'm a good speller, and I don't understand it.
That's true. She used to beat me.
Number 2, could you please tell me how many people buy this dictionary?
I think about 40 or 50,000 people.
Number 3, do educational institutions recommend your dictionary?
Not particularly, no.
I think. Number 1, a famous Englishman left a lot of money so that people would spell this bad way. Do you know who that was?
That was George Bernard Shaw.
Thank you. Number 3, what did he call that kind of, I don't know what it is myself, so how can I ask? Number 1, supposing you're a rotten speller, how do you know a rotten speller is going to spell scissors this wrong way? There's a million wrong ways to spell scissors. Do you know what I mean? How do you know that he's going to go right for your misspelled word instead of the right way? Do you know what I mean?
Well, if he looks for it in the regular dictionary, he won't find it under his type of spelling.
I know, but he could look for... I was thinking orange would be E-N-G-E.
We'll never be able to solve
A-N-G.
Isn't it? Now, Orson.
Number 3. Name any 3 meanings for burrow.
Well, we got burrow the donkey, to burrow the ground, and Brooklyn is a borough.
Not bad, all right. Number 1, what kind of a yuck does spell scissors, S-I-Z-Z-E-R-S? Does anyone, I could understand leaving the C out or something, but do people really make, is it that?
Well,
I mean, are those your book-buying public that go that far astray?
that kind of a nut might be a cut-up, perhaps.
Number 2, what... Oh. Sorry, Number 2.
Thank you, Orson. Kitty.
Well, I would like to be quite different from the moral indignation of my friend, Miss Cass. I bless you all. And I like to have the book right after the show, because I can't spell anything. And I think scissors is just great this way. I would like to know, number 3, how you got the idea to benefit humanity this way.
Well, I think because of your reasoning, too. I was a terrible speller.
Number 2, do you find this is great competition for, let's say, Funk and Wagnall and Random House's great dictionaries?
Not quite.
No. How many people do you say buy it?
About 50 or 60,000.
Number 1, when you compiled this dictionary, did you have any help? Was this a solo operation?
No, I had the help of things that I had heard and my own particular problems with spelling.
Number 2, when you do the definitions...
I'm sorry, Kitty. Tom Poston.
I'll ask number 3 a question. How do you spell dictionary in your book?
In my book, Dictionary.
Dictionary.
Good luck. You just failed everything. Number 2, what is the purpose of your dictionary, or dictionary, as number 3 spelled?
Well, one thing to give people a lot of fun. For another thing, to awaken people to the fact that there are a lot of very poor spellers around.
Oh, listen, we know that. No. Number 2, how come you went for...
Time is up, panel, and now the time has come to VOAT. And without any consultation, please mark your ballot selecting either number 1, number 2, or number 3. Of course, gentlemen, you know that you will receive as a team $250 for each incorrect VOAT. Good luck. Are we all marked?
No, I'm not really marked yet.
Are we all set? Here we go. All right, Tom, now that you've done that, let's find out...
I voted for number 1 there.
Very good. Peg?
Well, I voted for number 2 because he's... Oh, thanks. Because he made it out that it was real. I thought he was just wanting people to spell this way, but as long as it's a gag and he's really trying to awaken bad spellers of America, I'm for him, too.
All right, Orson?
I voted for number 1. Number 2 said, I think 50 or 60,000 people. It's been my experience. Authors always know or claim to. And number 3 said, I think about something, too. And number 1 looks like he has a sense of humor. Kitty.
All right, Kitty?
Well, I voted for number 3. I think it's sort of a spoof because he looks like he went to college and really knows how to spell. But I voted for number 3. He looks enterprising.
Well, that's a widely disparate vote. Their minds are made up. Well, what do you think? Well, let's find out together right now. Which of these 3 gentlemen is the real compiler of a handbook for terrible spellers? Will the real Joseph Kraviski please stand up?
And spell your name.
Very good. Did you sit down, Mr. Kraviski? Tell me, I'm curious, sir, are you a professional writer?
Well, not exactly. Actually, I'm an associate managing editor at the Prentice Hall Publishing Company.
I see. Very good. All right, let's find out who these other gentlemen are. Number 1, you got 2 votes. Tell us who you really are.
My name is Ellis Grell, and I'm an insurance broker.
And number 3, you got yourself a vote. Who are you?
My name is Jerry Blum, and I'm the women's shoe buyer for Lord and Taylor's Department.
Well, gentlemen, you really have done it. Congratulations. 3 incorrect votes, which means a total of $750. And on your way out, of course, there's a gift box of fine products for you from the makers of Woolite. Thank you so much for being with us. Good night. We'll be back in just a moment after this message of interest. Next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Paula Murphy.
My name is Paula Murphy.
My name is Paula Murphy.
All right, panel, would you please listen while I read? I, Paula Murphy, am a test driver for a major automobile manufacturer. I hold 4 cross-country stock car endurance records and was the first woman to drive at the Indianapolis Speedway. Last November on the Bonneville Salt Flats, I climbed into a 10,000-horsepower jet car and became the fastest woman on wheels by attaining an average speed of better than 226 miles per hour. Signed, Paula Murphy. All right, panel. Here are three ladies. They all claim to be Paula Murphy, the fastest woman on wheels. Let's start this round with Tom Poston.
Oh, thank you, Bob. I'd like to ask number one, that seems like I've got this guy on the brain. What's A.J. Foyt doing now, number one?
He's in the hospital.
Oh, really? What's wrong with him, number two?
He was just injured in the last race.
Do you know how?
I believe he blew a wheel.
Number three, what actually are his injuries? Do you know?
Nothing serious, just a broken arm.
Doing the same thing, having fun on a ski slope. Number one, do you know the nickname of that car you were driving, or that human bullet there?
Yes, it's a jet.
What's it
the
called?
Avenger.
The Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, what's the name of the... Uh-oh.
Thank you, Tom. Peggy.
Number 2, can anybody buy an Avenger?
No.
Number 3, who makes the Avenger?
Walt Arfons designed this one.
The what?
Walt Arfons.
I see. Number 1, what was the thing sticking up in the front of the car? I saw it on the monitor. It looked as though it had like a thing sticking
Well,
up.
there's a tail fin in the back.
Oh, it was going so fast, I thought it was going backwards, I guess. Number 2, who's Jim Clark?
Jim Clark is a very famous race driver.
Number 3, where's he from?
From Scotland.
Thank you. Number 1, what is a Lotus?
It's a English car.
And number 2, when you put on the brakes when you're going 226 miles an hour, how long does it take you to come to a full stop?
It takes you about, I'd say, 15 seconds.
And how much space?
Thank you, Peg. Orson.
Yes, number one, I read it was a tragic thing, but it was some guy climbed into one of those things and zapped his way into the great salt flat in the sky. Who was that recently?
I believe his name was Graham. I'm not real sure, however.
Number 3, do you agree with that?
Walt Arfons.
Number 2, what does the name Milton Farnsworth mean to you?
He's a driver also.
Number 3, do you agree with that?
No,
What does it mean to you?
nothing.
All right. Number 3, what made a fine young girl like you get into such a terrible...
Thank you, Milton. Now, Kitty.
Well, number 3, what is the purpose of going this fast in a jet car like that on the Bonneville Flats?
I really don't know. I was just glad
Just
to
for
do
fun?
it. Yes, and it's useful later in races.
Number 2, what is that fin that we saw that was, I think, going backwards, forwards on the car? What was it?
It helps cut friction.
Number 1, how much area do you have to stop this car? Do you agree that you can stop it in 15 seconds?
Not the jet, no.
How much time do you take?
Just that much. I'm sorry. That means our time is up, and again, I call upon you to make a selection. Would you please, again, mark your ballots and choose either number 1, number 2, or number 3. I will be curious to see how we've all set. Good. Tom, who did you think?
I voted for number 1. Foyt fractured his heel, among other things. Not too serious, thank goodness. And I think it takes longer than 15 seconds to stop that car.
Okay.
Also, you wouldn't put the brakes on altogether, I think.
All right, Peggy.
I voted for number 3 because she looks as though she could do it.
15 seconds. All right, Orson.
Well, I voted for number 3 because race drivers are very insular, and she didn't know who Milton Farnsworth was. But it must be number 1 if Schmagegi there hurt his heel, like the fellow in the end says.
Kitty.
I voted for number 3 because of Peggy's reason. I thought she looked like she could do it, but I didn't know about Mr. Foyt and his arm or his heel. Oh,
All right.
dear.
There you go. Most interesting. 3 votes for number 3, 1 for 1, and there are their minds sort of made up in front of you. All right, let's find out which of these 3 charming ladies is the really fastest woman on wheels. Will the real Paula Murphy please stand up?
I wonder how Mr. Orson is going to feel that she's got his death. He's on the show. He's the guy that's done the fastest.
Very good, Paul. Incidentally, Paula works for the STP division of Studebaker. You might be happy to know. Well, number 2, would you be good enough to tell us who you really are?
I'm Jackie Ann Beatty, and I work
for the Ford Model Agency as Secretary to the President.
Well, at least you've got the right boss for this spot, Ford, you know. All right, number 3. Wow, 3 votes. Tell us who you are, really.
Sandy Lee Morris, and I'm living in New York now, designing, interior design.
Yes, Tom. I'm sorry, Tom, what?
I don't think that Mr. Orphans has passed on, has he, number 1? No, he's very much alive.
He was on the show. I felt real bad when I heard he died.
No, he hasn't died.
The brothers. Oh. You know what I'm very curious about? Orson, Milton Farnsworth. Who is he?
It's not exact. I was wrong. He is soapbox derby is his forte.
I love it when you make up those names. Well, ladies, you should be very, very happy because, by golly, you have again really killed them. There are 3 incorrect votes, which means you share exactly $750. Congratulations to you. And on your way out, there's a gift box of fine products from the makers of Woolite for each of you. Thank you so very much, and good night. All right, panel, take a moment now while we look at this brief film. Let's meet our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Richard Lurie.
My name is Richard Lurie.
My name is Richard Lurie.
All right, panel, would you please listen while I read? I, Richard Lurie, am the author of a book called Passports and Profits, a guide for the American who travels and does business in foreign countries. In it, I give tips by country on how to dress, what conversational subjects to avoid, what gifts to bring, and whether or not to take your wife. If you're an American, for example, don't wear a derby hat in England or a beret in France. In Germany, when a businessman invites you home to dinner, bring flowers for his wife, preferably an odd number and never chrysanthemums. In Saudi Arabia, bring your gift to the host because you'll never even see his wife. In Thailand, do not sit with the soles of your shoes showing. In all, I cover business practices and procedures in 105 countries. Signed, Richard Lurie. All right, my friends, here are 3 gentlemen. They all claim to be Richard Lurie, author of Passports and Profits. Kitty, would you start, please?
Thank you, Robert. Number 2, why wouldn't you suggest wearing a beret in France?
Well, it would be similar to an Englishman wearing a Stetson here in New York. It's sort of foolish. You might be taken.
Thank you. Number 3, what country would you suggest not taking your wife?
Japan.
Thank you. All those little feet up and down. Number 1, why an odd number of chrysanthemums? Never chrysanthemums. Why not number 1?
Chrysanthemums are usually associated with funerals in Europe.
And number 2, why an odd number of flowers?
Well, that's just good luck, an odd number. And too many is ostentatious.
What country, for instance, would you suggest not talking about business at all when you're at dinner, number 3?
I would say in Saudi Arabia.
Number 1. Oh.
Thank you, Kitty. Tom.
Oh, it is my turn. Well, I'm going to ask one of the other members of the... why not chrysanthemums specifically in Germany, number 3? May I ask?
The connotation is that the funeral tie-in with the chrysanthemum in the countries over there.
I see. Number 1, have you written any other books?
Yes, I have.
What's the title?
How to Operate a Teletype Maintenance Manual.
Oh, that's good reading. I've read that on my show. Number 1, let me ask you, if a derby hat is being well-dressed in London, couldn't an American affect a derby hat if he wanted to appear well-dressed?
I'd say only if he lived there for a number of years. Thank
you, Tom. Peggy Cat.
Number 2, there are several European countries where Americans have corporation setups. Could you name 2 of them for me?
Oh, Luxembourg, Liechtenstein, Monaco, so forth.
Thank you. Number 3, what is the capital of Liechtenstein?
That's one area that I didn't cover in my book.
Thank you. Number 1, in which country? They knew I was going off on geography.
Number 3, where is the El Minza Hotel? The El Minza. They serve a fine daiquiri there.
That's right.
Never heard of the El Minza?
In my travels, I haven't come to the El Minza.
The El Minza. All right. Number 1, who is Temple Fielding?
He writes travel books.
Number 2, which countries does Temple Fielding love?
Well, he lives in Mallorca.
Yes.
And he writes principally about Europe.
Does he have, number 1, does he have, does Temple Fielding have a country that's his great love?
I don't know.
Number 3?
I would think England.
All right. What, number 3, where could you...
That's it. That's it, gang. I'm sorry, but time now once again to mark your ballots, if you will, and choose either number 1, number 2, or number 3.
Oh, you're really...
And remember, you haven't done too well tonight now. Come on, gang. Are we all set? Tom, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 1. He looked like a guy that could write a book about both this and the computer machine's innards.
All right. Peg?
I voted for number 2 because he's so honest.
Now, Orson?
I voted for number 1. Temple Fielding loves Spain, and I guess a couple of... I don't think he's nuts for England, number 3, but who knows. And the El Minza.
It's in Tangier.
It's in Tangier. They have great daiquiris and the birds fly around, but I'm voting too long. Kitty.
Kitty.
I voted for number 2 because any man who knows the corporate secrets, I think, would have written a book like this. Although I did expect to vote for number 3, but I voted for number 2.
Well, there you are. Again, number 3 seems to have been left out in the cold. We'll find out in a minute. There are their minds all made up. How do you agree or disagree? Let's find out now which of these 3 gentlemen is the real author of Passports and Profits. Will the real Richard Lurie please stand up? I must tell you, I didn't know that either. They never tell me anything. I thought it was number 2. Congratulations, Mr. Lurie. Let me ask you this. Who publishes your book?
Pan American Airways.
Pan American Airways, and the book is entitled Passports and Profits. Did you really write the comptometer thing?
Yes, I did, in the Army.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
I think they're making it into a musical next year.
All right, let's find out about number 2. Tell us who you really are, sir.
My name is Carlos Ariema. I'm an electronics engineer, executive VP of Ariema.
And number 3, would you tell us who you are, sir?
My name is Commander Tom Williamson, stationed at the Naval Air Station, New York.
Oh, very good. It's been a most enjoyable spot, gentlemen. There have been 2 incorrect votes, which means there's a total of $500 for you to divide. Also on your way out, there's a gift box of fine products from the makers of Woolite. Thank you so very much, and good night. I thought Orson was kidding about the El Minza, but it does exist.
It's one of the
Yes, we've all been there.
It's extraordinarily beautiful.
I don't trust you at all anymore, Orson.
But don't take your wife, Orson.
I bought a slave girl when I was there.
I must tell you, though, I've enjoyed this very, very much. Thank you so very much.
Thank
and
you.
Bud, of course, will be back with you next Monday night. I'll be with you tomorrow afternoon on the daytime version of To Tell the Truth. And until then, this is Robert Q. sitting in for Bud and reminding you, as he always does, to tell the truth.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. To Tell the Truth has been brought to you by Dristan tablets for relief of colds, misery, sinus congestion. Dristan to help unclog congestion that fills your head with colds, misery. This is Johnny Olson speaking. For To Tell the Truth, the program was pre-recorded.